At a first glimpse, you might notice white sands and a sea full of beauty. But if you take a closer look, the white sands are made up of fish bones, the sea full of toxic runoff. And while these health hazards may potentially spread throughout Southern California, believe it or not, the Salton Sea used to be an ideal getaway. Oh, the Salton Sea. Between the 1950s and 60s, real estate was booming. It was referred to as a miracle in the desert. It attracted over 500,000 visitors annually, including celebrities like the Beach Boys and Sonny Bono. But this so-called miracle was created by accident through diverted runoff from the Colorado River. The water soon became saltier than the ocean by being fed solely agricultural runoff. Botulism poisoning killed millions of fish, and the massive die-offs, along with the sea full of pesticides and heavy metals, soon took their toll. Needless to say, tourists fled, and now researchers are examining the damage where people still live.
Animals or wildlife can be seen as, indicators of how healthy the environment is.
Jill Johnston and Sheree Farzan, both assistant professors at USC's Department of Health, are studying the health effects from the Salton Sea's toxic dust.
So we became interested because they were worried about more dust in the area. So we just started looking into some of the health issues in the area. And so there's very high levels of particulate matter and also very high levels of childhood asthma.
And as the Salton Sea's water level decreases over time, the level of dust rises, causing more health problems, especially among kids.
People need to have the power to be able to determine whether they can walk outside or stay indoors to protect themselves.
Luis Almedo, executive director of Comité Cívico de Valle, grew up in the Imperial Valley and believes something must be done about the area's poor air quality. His organization helps provide schools, agricultural workers, and other residents with real-time air quality updates.
Children between middle school age, they're at the biggest threat because their lungs haven't fully developed, their activities are increasing, they're ingesting more air.
But the destruction of the Salton Sea isn't just plaguing the Imperial Valley. A Supreme Court ruling agreed to a water transfer deal that went into effect last year. Water is now being taken out of the Salton Sea and given to areas like San Diego for drinking water and residential use. Researchers say it could be detrimental. Reports indicate if the Salton Sea dries up, toxic dust will be unleashed into the air all throughout Southern California, risking the health of millions.
And it's really fine dust. It's laden with chemicals from agricultural runoff, such as pesticides, toxic metals. There have been studies showing that there are things like DDT and arsenic and other heavy metals in that sediment.
There are some plans for mitigation efforts for, ways to try to restore some of this dry lake bed, but, there needs to be a lot of action very quickly to not have a consequence on people's health.
Part of Proposition 68 on the California ballot this coming June would set aside $200 million for the Salton Sea. However, Almedo says fixing the issue here will take billions.
Right now, the most critical thing to do with these monies is to stabilize the sea. We cannot pull back that tombstone because it'd be certain, death for people here in the Imperial Valley.